Good evening, fellow ghouls and specters alike. It's your ghost host with the most, Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5, here to engage in some haunted holiday hijinks by trudging through the catacombs, dusting off the cobwebs to recount our spooky selection of Halloween classics.
So light the jack-o'-lanterns, suit up, and grab the candy dish as we revive and recount tonight's spooky selection, the United Monsters Talent Agency.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. Dracula only takes calls after dark. All right.
Attaboy, Clarence.
So, Dragon, this is clearly a love letter in every sense of the word, to steal a phrasing that you told me right before we went on air, to give you credit for it. This is a big Greg Nicotero passion project. Of course, Greg Nicotero, one of the big Dragon. I mostly know him as the kind of like the mastermind behind the Walking Dead visual effects. And I'm sure he's got roots in other horror-related visual effects as well. Practical effects, of course, makeup, and I'm sure he's a big makeup guy. But would you like to set the stage for it, Dragon? Because basically, my thoughts on this is like, it's pretty much like it's a nice love letter. I'm not gonna say that this is like super standout for me compared to some of the other stuff we talked about, just because I feel like this plays it like very straight. It's just like, okay, like this is exactly what this would feel. It very much has a Who Framed Roger Rabbit vibe to me, Dragon. It's pretty much like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but with the Universal monsters, and I did dig that. I just feel like this is very cut and dry. It's very much what you get. It's a loving homage. It's a it's just kind of like, those are the monsters, and it feels very much it feels very authentic, Dragon, but because it feels so authentic, I just kind of feel like it sort of speaks for itself. I don't really have that much commentary on it, per se. So, I like it a lot, though. So with that in mind, Dragon, why don't you, tell us what you think about this, and then kind of like weave the tale of how Greg Nicotero willed this into existence.
Yeah, certainly. So, yeah, I just think this is one of the most charming tributes to Universal horror you'll ever see, by a master in the business, behind the scenes. A guy who would know a thing or two about that. Because you got to remember, all these makeup guys, they got their start, in the Fangoria magazines, and learning about the old monsters, or the Star Trek monster mask and designs. And, these are the old school guys. They always. The story, that's how you get like the Tom Savinis of the world. These are the guys who've been around. They're always kind of watching and being, all of the great effects men are fanboys at the heart of it, and I think that really comes out in this. That this is like the universal start of like, you want to be an effects man, you want to work in horror, period. Even if it's not as an effects man, as like a guy behind the camera, behind the pen. You're going to look at. You're gonna look at where it all started. Like you with Nosferatu, for example.
Sure.
Which we kind of start things off with in this as well. So it's just kind of this, to me. It's just been this personal fun, and just I think it's personal. I think it's fun. I think it's a delightful watch, especially around Halloween when you're you're binging the Universal classics, or you got Monsters on the Brain around that time of year. I love old school Hollywood, basically the old Hollywood commercial, newsreel vibe to this, and the fact that we're treating the monsters like the Universal, big picture draws, because in reality they were. We're just actualizing it. And again, it's like you said, it's a little bit of a Roger Rabbit effect, which is always kind of a great meta world building sort of thing you kind of have going on there, kind of like a pilot to a show we never asked for. You could call this, I'm just, watching this gets me really curious about Nicotero's other directed works, because I know he's directed some episodes of The Walking Dead. I'm not sure about his if he's done any like maybe some indie feature work or whatnot. I'm not sure what he's done beyond that sort of stuff. But yeah, I was dazzled by this. I like this. So in terms of the background, in terms of how the sausage is made, or kind of how the Caro syrup mixes with with the syrup to the blood and the food dye in this case. So we go back to 2010. So in 2010, or at least around that time, Greg Nicotero, this is his brainchild for the kids out there. Greg Nicotero, he is part of K&B Effects, as in it's him, the letters of that organization. It's Robert Kurtzman, Greg Nicotero, and Howard Berger.
That sounds so much like an old school radio station.
Yeah, and I believe Kurtzman left, so it's more like N&B, but you need the K in there because it's like K&B toys. We need the K in there.
Yeah.
So so these guys pretty much it's a shame Bill Corso didn't just C&B Effects. Like if he came in there, you'd have like all the makeup titans there. Sort of like a Tom Savini who's kind of in a class in his own. The point is you have like VFX guys, not just for the blood and guts, but just for you need like a fake prosthetic, or you need just kind of something to get blown off. You need like a dummy, you need like a double, you need like something seamless. These guys are VFX men in Hollywood, both horrific and non-horrific alike. Like they're used all over the business. Look at Breaking Bad. They go to K&B for their stuff as well. So K&B lauded in the industry. Point being, Nicotero, before he makes like the major before everyone knows about K&B from The Walking Dead, this hit Nicotero at a very interesting point where he was between projects. He was between, he did Inglourious for Tarantino. He's working on that, and he was about to go to The Walking Dead. He had a bit of like a gap in between before he had to start on The Walking Dead. And he kind of took that time and just kind of thought, I've always had this funny idea for a short film I'd like to do. And it was okay. Let's. What if we did like an ad for Universal, like an old timey ad for Universal, and we started with the creature from the Black Lagoon, like did a scene from that movie, and then we just to quote Bela Lugosi, pull the string back behind the curtain, and we reveal, what if the real stars of the monster movies, were managed as such, and basically it kind of snowballed from there because he talked to all of his horror buddies and his horror director buddies, and basically they all wanted in. That's why we have so many famous cameos here and there, just everyone. It kind of started small, like okay, well we need the creature from the Black Lagoon, we need Wolfman, and a little bit of Frankenstein. Basically, we need the logo. We need the logo. That's the bare minimum what we need. And beyond that, it just kind of grew from there of like, what else can we do? We're in the Universal camp. Like, how deep cuts can we get? Like, can we get some Romero in there? Why not? Who's gonna say no? You want some Carpenter? Roll out the red Carpenter. Let's do it.
The red Carpenter.
Yeah. It's a blood-soaked rug, but it's red.
Oh God!
So
it's just like a dirty, a dirty carpet, like one of those dingy fabric carpets that you would find in an old apartment, but it's blood-soaked, so it fits.
Yeah, and then on the other end of it, there's furnishing, freshly carpeted furnishing. Carpenter. Anyway. So basically, so he called up his buddies, and it leads to the stack cast, and just kind of snowballed from there. And here we go. I know this thing got kind of somewhat of a home video release for sure. I don't know how packed with bonus features it is. They kind of fill out, kind of the 8-minute runtime. But I became aware of this through the King Kong documentary, Long Live the King. I watched. It was only like an hour, so it didn't make it to memoirs or anything. But when we were doing the Kong retrospective, I watched that, and I think I saw it before, but I was reminded of Nicotero brought up his short in the clip with King Kong in that short, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? And I looked it up on YouTube, and I found it. The moment I watched, like, okay, we are so doing this on Haunted Holiday Hijinks. We have to do this. Especially if we're building the certain Universal movies.
Well, we are. Yeah, that is the thing. This is a good one to do for this year in particular, because this year is it's been a long time coming since we've ripped the Band-Aid off of all the the classic black and white Universal monster movies. But this is the year to do it.
Year of Kong. You're the black and white. We got to do it. And that brings us to our feature presentation, folks.
So yeah, and of course, Dragon, I know that you're a big Creature of the Black Lagoon fan, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, I'm sorry, is it from or of? Now I'm second guessing myself.
Oh, it's from. Yeah, it's always from.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
sorry. I know you're a big fan, so I'm sure that you were delighted in seeing Gillman as the first monster on display here.
Oh yeah, so we open with like this solid recreation of essentially one of the best part of Creature from the Black Lagoon, the climax, at least one of the best parts. Yeah, so we have a cat, guys, I think Kate. We have Kate. We have Kate Lawrence. She's been kidnapped by the monster, and she's found by the lead, by David Reed, and they're getting into it, and the creature emerges, and I love the detail. Of course, glorious black and white, but also like the fog machine at the bottom.
Just the acting is also very on par too, of like that classic kind of like over the top like. Well, I've never been. I'm sorry. I always quote this as like my go-to like 1930s dialogue. Well, I've never been on a ship before. Well, I ain't never been on one with a woman before.
Yeah, it's kind of the King Kong sort of. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not as bad as that, because that was the third.
No. I'm just saying it's kind of like that style of Hammy, like. It's like acting has evolved so much since.
Well, I think the better comparison would be the philosophy here, where it's like, I'm gonna go stab it. I'm gonna go stab the monster.
Yeah, right.
Because that's a great idea. I don't know, run or swim or maybe like throw the knife at it. I don't know.
Oh God. I love it how he basically just like goes in for a bear hug. It's like it's really bad stunt work.
That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of the Creature always had kind of that B movie charm to it, which the other ones were kind of like the A pictures of the olden days, but Creature was always like in that prime 50s real estate, like the dawning of the B movie Universal monster, but the Evil Dead equivalent to like the ultimate B movie versus this was the ultimate B movie of the 50s.
Sure.
Anyway, so he's going in for the attack, and pretty much again, it's fairly flawlessly recreated, I feel. And so again, just think of crazy. All of our monsters very on point because again, we have the top effects, man. They found the suits, they recreated the makeup and the moldings, I think, very well. It looks very seamless for the most part. And Gillman particularly looks great. So again, wrestles with Dave for the knife, and we're basking in the ambiance, and it looks like it's going to be curtains for Kate before the men come in and shoot it, as the movie goes. But we can't do that because, cuts. We reveal director numero uno. It's Frank Darabont.
Yeah, of course, the director of the original Walking Dead pilot, so there's a connection there.
That's how you get that. Also, famously for the kids, Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, because I'm sure the kids care about those two movies way more than the Walking Dead Dragon.
The kids love Tim Robbins, Tiki.
All right.
It's not Morgan Freeman. They love Tim Robbins.
You mean that crazy guy from War of the Worlds?
Yeah. No, but America loves Tom Hanks, though, so yeah.
Where did Tom Hanks randomly come into this?
He's in Green Mile, Tiki.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
I want to say the kids love Bob Gumpton. They love him in, we do love him in Daredevil, but he's been in a lot of other things, though. We're drifting off focus. So, point being, we reveal, kind of like Roger Rabbit almost. It's like, hey, this scene is
very, very Roger Rabbit to me. It's pretty much like the same sort of setup.
It's very the whole short, by the way, feels very Joe Dante-esque because he loved doing kind of like look at Looney Tunes Back in Action, where we did somewhat of a Roger Rabbit thing where we're showing basically we're using the cartoons to shoot kind of shoot the movie, or we're breaking the fourth wall, just not as well as we did Roger Rabbit, clearly.
But Dante is a man who loves his newsreels.
He does. That's what I'm saying. This thing, I think Dante would go gaga for this whole thing. This is a really up his alley. He loves the 50s setting, which we do cover very prominently in this. So, yeah, a lot of that is definitely represented. So, anyway, so we have this great reveal of essentially our concept, where the conceit here, where we've trained the monsters to act, much like a circus performer trains the animals to perform, almost in the case of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, of like, yeah, he's acting. Okay, we've stopped shooting the scene, so we're gonna net him and incapacitate him. And this entertained me to no end. we're gonna shoot it out of sequence. Okay, so we're gonna go with the deck of the ship next, like earlier in the movie. We're not just gonna go to the bitter end at this point. We're gonna shoot it out of sequence, like most Hollywood movies. Yeah. All right, that brings us to, again, we kind of expand upon our framing device here. On to the next setup. We have a Movie Tone News, the Movie Tone Newsreel by director Greg Nicotero, which was cute.
So can I just point out, like, it blew my mind when I saw Andy Samberg's name in the credits as the narrator.
Andy Samberg?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Is it not Andy Samberg?
Well, I saw Schonenberg. Andy Schonenberg.
My God.
I don't think it was Sandberg.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh God. Hold on.
Let me save you here. Okay, let me save you. Let me tell you who Andy Schoen. I could be mispronouncing it, mind you, but no, it's not Sandberg.
Oh, it's not Samberg. The text is just really small. Dyslexia moment.
Yes. One of many.
I don't even have dyslexia. Oh God, that's embarrassing.
I don't know about that, but okay.
I'm sorry, Dragon. I'm sorry. Yes, tell me who this narrator. Because I was just like, oh man, that sounds nothing like Andy Samberg. And yeah, it sounds nothing like Andy Samberg.
Yeah,
checks out. All right.
That's logic, kids.
God.
Anyway, so Andy Schoenberg or Schoenberg, he is.
It's a very similar name, Dragon.
I mean, not really though.
All right.
Okay, so Andy here, he was one of the Jurassic Park effects man. And again,
Frankenstein.
What?
Frankenstein, Samberg, Schomburg.
Not remotely the same, but okay. So this guy, he was yet another effects guy. He kind of called a favor into here. He was the effects guy on Jurassic Park. I don't know what department. I know he worked with Stan Winston's guys, and let's see, was Stan Winston on
Samuel Jackson's dislocated arm, and that's it.
That's possible. Could be.
That was his claim to fame.
You remember if it was Stan Winston on Jurassic Park, or was that?
It was definitely Stan Winston.
Then yes. So he was one of Stan Winston's guys on Jurassic Park. So it was that, and he's worked with some of the other greats too, like some of the other kind of leading guys. Probably Dennis. I don't know if he worked with Mirren, but the point being, just Stan Winston. So yeah, he's the narrator. I believe he also plays one of the monsters later. I can't recall offhand, but yeah, he's one of the monsters. Okay, so so he's our narrator here, basically walking us through the whole movie tone kind of newsreel of all. So long story short, like, what do you do when people want monsters? And of course, we see the shadow of the first monster, Nosferatu. Your boy, Nosferatu. Someone hit that switch, and that's why we have a shadow.
Nosferatu.
Yep, especially when he's in silhouette. Someone hit that light switch, and we know who it was.
Dragon, did I ever give you the antidote that it's very hard for me to say that Nosferatu gag without doing a little finger wave?
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Like, it kind of comes with it. It's almost like a reflex when I do it.
Yeah, man, kind of for me, too. I gotta be I'm very much a hand talker, so I don't know if that's, I don't know. Anyway. So, again, it's a really, I guess what I'm talking about, Tig, is with the love letter to the monster movies. Just, we cover a lot of eras in Universal horror here.
And you mentioned the logo, but I just need to point out that the logo is just freaking phenomenal.
It's funny, I went to a horror con recently, and more details on that when we do a trip report.
Ooh, planting flags.
May or may not. Well, probably a trip report you've already seen by this point, folks. But just a trip report,
right?
A little foreshadow, a little pre-for. Anyway, it's a little tidbit.
We're going Nolan with the foreshadowing, Dragon. We're doing the foreshadowing after the story's taken place.
I'll pull a Disney. I'm going to give you all a little tidbit.
Okay.
My father got some. He loves The Creature from the Black Lagoon. He was very much a '50s kid in that regard. He loved it was the monster for him. That and Frankenstein. But regardless, he got bunch of these patches to put on a jacket, which I know for a fact he's never going to get to. But the fact is, he got these patches, and the patches they have not lucite, but in sort of like a top loader sort of thing. Pretty much identical to this logo. I swear to God. I don't know if it's intentional or if it's out of love for this or not, or it's the fact that these are three very popular, very diverse monsters. You got Frankenstein, you got the creature, and you have the Wolfman. These three identical ones just as patches and like a little thing. They call it Destiny. I don't know what, but it was heady to see. Yeah, those are three very, very big, very diverse monsters.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, Dracula just had a lot of stay power. Dracula was not as around as often as many people think. He
really wasn't. No, you're right about that.
You had gobs of Frankenstein movies. You had a trilogy.
Frankenstein was like the Iron Man of the monsters. Yeah.
Yeah. You had that. The Creature was a solid trilogy, and then you had the Wolfman. I think the Wolfman was again. He had the crossover appeal. He would be crossed over with a lot, if I recall. So, anyways, the point being, it's a boss logo, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks super professional.
So again, covering the errors like that. So again, we just we have the beginnings of it. We have that. And of course, we're going to get into other genres. Anyway, so call United Monster Talent Agency. And what's outside the building, Tiki?
What's outside the building? King Kong himself. So, Dragon, what's the story? Is this just a crazy animatronic that they just cobbled together?
I mean, it's not. I'm pretty sure it's stop motion, but it's really
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Pretty seamless, though, right?
It's very seamless, right? It really is. I mean, it looks like it's just right there. The scale is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, Tiki, I'll be shocked if this is the case. I tried to look it up, but it's no longer free on Amazon. They talk about this in the King Kong thing I told you about. Long live the king. But it's. I'd be shocked if somehow Nicotero got his hands on the ride, one of the ride animatronics or something. Because if that doesn't look enough like that ride animatronic to be the thing, so it has to be stop motion. It has to be. But you'll notice though, the happiest we've ever seen Kong, I think.
Yeah,
it's like the cutest. So. I think it's like the cutest interpretation of King Kong I've ever seen. Where oh, look at him there. It's just kind of in a little pen. He's got some gorilla treats off to the side, hey. Is waving in the chains versus just being a defeated kind of beast in the chains. All right, so again, great little, and again, the hilarious thing to me is hey, the origin point, much like real life, the origin point for all those inflatable gorillas you see at all the car dealerships.
And also, I do like the fact that the little detail of this world is that the monsters do have they have agency, no pun intended. But they still have to be controlled and chained up, and I find that little contrast to just be very funny. You know what I mean?
I know, I love it because it makes sense of you don't want man's going to kill the leading lady possibly by accident. We don't know how much of the shape of water is actually feasible here.
It's I don't know. It's just kind of it's almost like a dark humor of they're stars in their own right, but they're still literally chained down by the system.
One could say Hollywood today would like to do that with some of the
exactly. All right. So we get a little kind of Ghostbusters Janine style, panel of operators. United Monster Talent Agency.
Yeah, we have let's see the female operators here again with that 40s and 50s charm, just scheduling and kind of connecting all the stars here. Sorry, Dracula only takes calls after dark. The alligator man ate your whole arm. We'll check the sewers. Yeah. So let's see. The idea is, they've sent talent scouts, across the globe to seek the biggest and brightest, this side of the Black Lagoon, which I thought was a cute line. Again, that's the thing. This whole thing is popular. It's a cute short. There's a lot of cute little references, and again, the lip service. Okay, Nosferatu's and Shadows. He's first King Kong, then being a very major. The next decade, he's there in stop motion and glory. And now we're hit the kind of the heyday, the 40s. Well, the 30s to the 40s, more accurately.
Of course, I'm sure you love the Invisible Man.
Yes, I did. I love the Invisible Man signing his contract. It's just great. We have the scripts coming in. We're going to
be able to look at the Invisible Man the same way again after that remake.
It's great.
And that remake just made him so much more malicious.
Yes, I mean Tiki. Seriously, it would make a great double feature: the original Invisible Man and the remake, because they both are. Because again, you have like a crazy Mark Hamill-esque Invisible Man in the first one,
Uh-huh.
and then you have again the psychologically driven. It's like all gets is the wonderful film that is the remake. Both are good. Yeah, so let's see. So the idea too, we kind of addresses that the black cat's out of the bag. With the industry secret being out, given the monster boom of it all, like their own Life magazine and what is it, like a photo play magazine and everything. And then that's the Invisible Man is now signing a contract, and it's like let's see, the creatures are lured back into their cells, which are like their dressing rooms.
Yeah, and I wonderful Quasimodo, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We covered everything. We didn't quite see the Phantom, but we saw his dressing room. We saw the Hunchback. We saw the creature from the Black Lagoon is being lured by fish and cattle prods, very Fish of Water-esque.
I love the fact that again, it's like these people, these creatures, like they're being treated like stars, but just with the caveat of but we got to put a leash on you too,
Yeah, I love like the narrator's pointing out, oh boy, I don't think he's hungry for fish, guys. Watch out. And also, I love look at all the Easter eggs too. You have like Carl Laemmle Jr. He's giving script approval on Sure. Imhotep, the Mummy movie. So yeah, that's cute. All right, let's see. So Cary Grant has his polo lounge, but these down here on the secure levels, we see the Hunchback and the Gillman, the Sun. Then we go deep cuts to show you how off the reservation they were allowed to go. The Sun Demon, the hideous Sun Demon, is being taken back to his trailer dressing room cell thing. So then Frankenstein recharging his batteries for his next big role. Let's see. So we see the stars on the doors and everything, and the Mummy is being, he's being prepped. He's being.
And this is one of those things. It's just very pleasant that he has his own his own maid to dust him off. It's very practical.
Yeah. Again, they're getting the pleasantries of like the advents of stardom, even as a monster. Let's see. So, and of course we had Dracula. So Dracula, actually, did you recognize the actor playing Dracula?
No.
Yeah, so that's Sam Witwer. That's the voice of Darth Maul. He was the guy playing the stupid version of Doomsday in Smallville, but he was good. He's pretty solid for Dracula. No Lugosi, but who can be?
Not sure.
Right. Anyway, let's see. So the Invisible Man is in the jacket and he's smoking. It has to be smoking in the universal look. Let's see. So, big one for us. You can even if you can't find anything here, you can even find your mother. Little Norma Bates there, a little psycho homage. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. So then we have lunchtime for the Thing for Another World. Let's see. So then we go to this is when we get into like the 50s B movie stuff here. So we have UMTA is looking towards the future, and we're teasing the evolution to the 50s and the 60s. We got we got the Atomic Age. We have some Planet of the Apes stuff. We have Dr. Zaius, man, Dr. Frickin' Zaius.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool for sure. I don't really think Planet of the Apes fits with like monster movies. Like it's definitely more sci-fi. But you know what I like about it is the fact that like by that logic, Dr. Zaius is like working like as a crew member.
Yeah,
so it is kind of like more of that Roger Rabbit logic of like, the stars are kind of like the more dangerous ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a rung up the ladder,
Right.
He has autonomy over it. And again, like that's the thing, the sci-fi kind of like again, he's in that era, and again, Planet of the Apes did horrify the people of the 60s at the end, like, it was us! Oh my god, it was us! But it was they
I actually just got designing a Planet of the Apes overhaul of part of Paradise Pier, of all things, believe it or not.
Ah, crazy, yeah.
Yeah, we turned it into kind of a San Francisco area. Obviously, a San Francisco, like it's obviously based on the new movies. But,
cool. So with the Atomic Age stuff, again, we have kind of Dr. Zaius ushering that in. We have Mant, which Joe Dante loves. We got Mant.
God.
Mant!
It's
It's a
almost as
monster.
intimidating as Ape!
But Tiki, it's a monster and an ant.
Oh, God.
It's a mant. Some could say that's Ant-Man's nickname that no one ever uses, because he's a man and he's an ant.
Yeah, gotcha.
Anyway, so okay, so we have the Mant gag, and then we have Romero zombies, which is ironic given what given what Nicotero moves on to next.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's see. So then we go to oh yeah. So I think we threw like a little nod to The Shining here because we're looking at we're shining a light on future creations. Who knows what they'll dream up next, and then we see what thing they'll dream up next, and we see the John Carpenter's The Thing real briefly out of the Shining. It's like, oh God, it's look at that monstrous twofer head. Oh God, it's so sickening and horrifying, like The Thing really is.
Don't we get like a Freddy Krueger claw too?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're playing again. They're like, I like that we teed things up. I know not a universal monster at all, but it's like, again, it was the future of horror. So like teasing up.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger, I think, absolutely was like the closest evolution of the universal monsters that we got. I really like his. I've talked about this before, but I think Freddy Krueger kind of like rises above the other slasher movie villains just because of his mythology.
I agree full-heartedly on that one, Tiki. Yes. Because Jason's always up to interpretation of what the heck's going on with that guy.
I could care less about, honestly. Jason, to me, is like the most boring one.
I mean, look, I feel sympathy for him, but then that's the thing. You always have the arbitration of, yeah.
I mean, I find Kane Hodder, the actor, to be way more compelling of a person than Jason, the character.
Yeah, I know. I'm so fascinated by Kane Hodder. I mean, I read his book.
I just want to throw that out there because I don't want to like disrespect him by disrespecting Jason.
Oh, so. Of course, and that's Kane Hodder was like, much as I would love it to have been the case. He was not always Jason. He was the best Jason, but it's. Regardless, I
still love Jason X though. Jason X is my kind of trash.
What I'm saying though, I mean, look, that's honestly out of all the
Jason X is a freaking blast, man.
I gotta be honest. Out of all the Jason movies, I mean, if I ever watch
Jason X is my favorite, without question. Like not even ironically.
The most I think I could ever watch of any of the Friday the 13th movies would be Jason X and. Like the scene in Times Square where Jason shows up and Jason goes to Manhattan. That's about it. Anyway, so it's nice that we kind of teed up because again, you're right though. He is very much the next stage of the iconic monster, the universal horror monster, to a degree. So I like that we don't see him though. I like that it's like again, it's in the lab where we're testing out the future.
Also in that lab is Jaws.
Did you notice who was watching Jaws?
Oh God, no. Who?
Robert Rodriguez.
Oh, that's her.
Yeah, he was dropping the cigar when he was just looking at Jaws like, oh, and again, Rodriguez, as you can tell by certain films like Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah.
Huge fan of sharks, and I would like to assume emanated from Jaws.
It's a good assumption.
Yeah, I think so. But it's just like that's what I'm saying. Like, we got everything in there. Not only did we get King Kong, we had all the Universal icons. We got Jaws.
Right. I mean, like I said, I'm just struggling for commentary on this one, just because it's like, yeah, there he is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all you really need, though. It's like, oh, look, it's like a newsreel. You can't spend too much time. What can we do? Give Jaws lines? We can't do that. You know,
certainly better than the newsreel and Kick-Assia.
Right. It's kind of an out there swing, but okay. Anyway, so let's see. So then we have what is it? So again, we pay off, the starring roles for the clients here. We have the big scene. I think the best part of the whole thing, honestly. So we have big roles for the starring clients, which means big box office for us, which then leads to a behind-the-scenes look with good old Eli Roth.
Oh God!
He's essentially playing Charles Barton. But here's the funny thing: so Charles Barton was the guy who directed Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Now, I don't know how Charles Barton sounded. I read a book where basically it was described how Charles Barton was. It was so long ago, I have no idea if they ever recorded what he was on the set. But anyway. you have Eli Roth, who, with the 40s accent, kind of like the fast-talking 40s speech pattern, it kind of sounds like Sam Raimi to me. Because Sam Raimi does...
Eli Roth and Sam Raimi have always sounded very similar, actually.
That's what I'm saying.
Mention it.
I like to think... it could just be coincidental.
Like, honestly, like, it's weird because those two, like, they sound similar, they look similar, their style is similar.
Right? So that's the thing. I mean, I don't know if it's. I like to think it's a loving homage to the Sam Raimi because on the set, like from my playing Bruce Campbell and everything, he says, "Hey, buddy, let's film this." So he sounds very much like
right.
As he abuses the actors, just like he's going to do a stunt many times. It's like, well, we got to hit Toby in the head. I'll hit him in the head. We got to make it look good. That sort of thing. But that's sort of. Anyways, I like to think loving homage out there is like a weird compound where if we speed him up, he sounds identical to Sam Raimi. So, he's directing the Wolfman in the big scene where, Lou Costello talks to him on the phone for the first time about the McDougal's House of Horrors thing. And we have Dana Gould, who I meant to mention this to you, Tiki. I spotted your Survivor guy on Seinfeld when I re-binged it.
Oh, okay. Okay, Penner.
Yeah, I know exactly what his story was on Seinfeld.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's a recovering addict.
Right. Yeah. So he's the guy that gets hit, right?
Yes. The idea is at that moment, he just got off of heroin.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, God.
He was, I won't bore you with all the details, but it's like just as he got clean from the heroin, or as he detoxed from it at least, Newman coming down a rickshaw about to hit him, and I don't know if Elaine got a chance to break up with him yet, so she's going to be yet again sidled with this guy.
Was he in more than one scene? Like, was he like a side character?
Yeah, he was the plot. He was Elaine's story for the episode where she was using him as a fake.
So he was like a one-off character, like a one-off.
Yeah, just for one episode. Yeah, it was just for one episode. Okay. He was like the whole storyline of like Elaine.
I need to watch that episode, dude.
Yeah. So anyway,
because I've only seen the whole this is the first day of the rest of my life. And that's the only clip I've seen. Right.
So anyway, speaking of that, this guy is I recognize him from Seinfeld. He's been in other things. Dana Gould. He was. I believe I forget if it was the name was Freddy or not. Like Jerry Seinfeld had a friend who was like a friend from camp or something. And every time he got upset, he went to the woods and he dug a hole and he sat in it.
Oh, Jesus.
So it was... I'm
sorry, that sounds like a troubled child.
Yeah, it was. And the idea is that Jerry can't upset him by telling him, he got... He was like, hey, my friend can get me a new car. So he got him a van. Like, I don't want a van. I'm not a van guy. But he can't tell him. So he does. He's going to freak out and go to the woods and dig a hole.
Oh, God.
So, anyway... So the point being that I recognize that, and he's playing very much, the Lon Chaney Jr. Role here. And you know me, I love me some Lon Chaney Jr. And it's not the best impression, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Mm-hmm. He's got the mannerisms down. So again, he's doing the. I love how he's kind of pressing the director along here because again, if he's the real Wolfman, if he's Lonnie Talbot, when that moon goes up, he will not be able to control it.
Right.
Yeah. So he says, as the director's sweet talking him here. Okay, here's what I want you to do. This is we should shoot this soon. Good call. Let's start. And we have Jeffrey Combs behind the camera as the cameraman. The reanimator himself. The Question. The wonderful Jeffrey Combs. Scarecrow from New Adventures. Okay, so they're filming the scene and he transforms. And this is really cool though, too. We get to see the transformation in real time. We've never seen that before. It's always in installments. Always with the fade. We got to see it kind of all straightforward for a change.
Sure.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So he tears things up very, very iconically to the movie. But again, he's a real monster. He's gonna, he can't do it on command. He's about to attack the film crew, and it gets tranked. So we took care of him. On to the haberdashery, which is a line that cracks me up because there's no haberdashery in Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. So I just think they're really pleased with the scene. We're gonna get hats. Yeah. And that brings it to the end. Things go bump in the night. It will make your skin crawl. UNTA will be there. And we have some mid-credit shenanigans with some fun Dr. Zaius lines. Do you work with animals? Yeah, I work with humans all the time. Stuff like that. It's real cute.
Right. Dragon, I'm sorry, man. This is so lovingly done that, like I said, I don't have a lot to add to the conversation. I really don't. I'm like, yeah, it's the thing. I like the thing. It's there. So I'm very sorry, Trey. I feel like I wasn't the most engaged in this conversation, but that's just because I feel like this very much speaks for itself. It's clearly a love letter. I feel like there's not really a lot of commentary. Like we're just coming off of something like Sid the Vampire Slayer, which had like just a shit ton of stuff for us to like nitpick. So I like this by comparison of Sid the Vampire Slayer, I had a lot of fun with Sid the Vampire Slayer, but it is a very imperfect episode. And by contrast, like, this is pretty much, like, perfect. It's pretty much just exactly what you want out of something like this. So, Dragon, don't mistake my lack of commentary for boredom. I really like this a lot. Like I said, I feel like it very much just kind of speaks for itself. It's a pretty good achievement as far as just plain homage goes. And I think just to wrap it up, I think my biggest kind of compliment of it is it very much kind of feels like the illogical logic of the Roger Rabbit Toon universe, but brought over into monsters. And I feel like in some ways it's even more clever than Roger Rabbit, because like with Roger Rabbit, it was basically just a 1-for-1 race allegory. Whereas this, it's like, with the Dr. Zaius of it all, it's like there's clearly like a hierarchy going on. I don't know. I'd like to see, I would like to see, maybe not a full movie, but maybe like a longer, like a half-hour short or something. Like, I don't know. I'd like this. I feel like there's opportunity to explore this world beyond just the newsreel, and I'd like to see it fleshed out. All right.
Yeah.
Your final thoughts?
Final thoughts? Yeah. I mean, again, I love this. Again, I think it's a real good chaser when you're in the midst of, the Universal horror movies. I think it's like a great little kind of, it's a cute companion piece. You want to get into a Universal mood? This will put you there, and then you watch the legit stuff and like, yeah, this was a good call. Also, I just want to shout out one joke I really like too in the mid credits. Again, they had some really good alternate. None of these scenes made into the thing where they put them in the the credits. Like we were just recruited. Fresh out of medical school, it's Dr. Zaius, and we have think about it, sequels, franchise. Wait, the movie's called Franchise?
All right, folks. Well, that's the end of tonight's spooky selection, and our spirits grow weary. But they'll be stronger than ever next time as we engage in even more haunted holiday hijinks. The
haberdashery.